Hi everyone, I'm Ian Harvey, massage therapist. This is my friend Summer.
Hello.
Today we're going to be doing just a general hand and arm routine. It's going to be kind of a deep tissue Swedish rather than anything myofascial. If you'd like to see some myofascial specific techniques, I've already got a couple of videos on that. Let's get started. So let's start with undraping technique. First, I'm not going to try to fold this down and find the arm. Instead, I'm going to come from the side here, grab the wrist, and then bring it up. As I'm doing this, I can easily tuck the drape under without any possibility of a draft or anything being exposed. To re-drape, I'm going to bring it back around. I'm going to keep the drape close to this upper arm. Again, there's no chance of exposure or a draft or anything, and then tuck the hand down by the side. Easy peasy. So again, in fast motion, it looks like this. Now, before I apply any sort of oil or lotion, I'm going to give the arm some nice traction. And then I'm going to do some compression of the hand and of the forearm. So I'm going to target each of these fingers, each of these digits individually. Don't forget about this area between the thumb and forefinger. And as I'm working with each of these, I'm giving them a bit of subtle traction. I'm not trying to pop anything. I'm not trying to make much of a change, but I'm compressing and I am tractioning. I bring this down into the forearm. And now it's time to get some oil. So to apply the oil, it's going to look like this. In order to get the oil consistently down the entire arm, I keep a little in reserve in my palm, and I uncup my hand as I go down. So the palm right here does not contact this upper arm, but then it does contact this lower arm. So I get a continuous amount of oil down the entire arm. I like to start with some nice compressive effleurage. And I keep the wrist plucked up like this, alternating between hands. While you can definitely do some work with the forearm down like this, and it can be a nice way of getting some pressure off of your own wrist, I find that it smashes the arm in a way that isn't necessarily comfortable, whereas this feels a lot more natural. Now the trick here is to use a tool that you create and then apply that tool. So I'm not trying to use my thumb like this. Instead, I make this C shape and then I apply it. Once I've done kind of this milking effleurage, I'm going to move to the hand. And now that I've got some oil on my hands, I can do some nice strokes up the palm. I'm alternating with my thumbs. And I'm, again, creating this shape with my hand and then changing the angle of my wrist. And I'm using this to do strips up between these metacarpals, giving a little bit of extra focus to this meaty part of the palm. Now that I have the hand up like this, I can stabilize it with my inner hand, and with my outer hand, I can scoop the fingers away, and now I've got the hand in a good grip to do some stripping down these flexors. And once again, that looks like this. So I've got the hand up, and then I sweep the fingers away, and I grab the fingers. I usually keep this finger out to control the thumb, but you can just forget about the thumb. And now I've got the fingers splayed out so that I can do some strips down this anterior portion of the forearm. So this is a moving pin and stretch. As I work down these flexors, I'm lengthening them. From here, you can come into thumb war grip. So all I did there was I curled my fingers around her fingers, and now this fist is again in my control. I've got these fingers curled downward so that we can get as much length as possible in these extensors. So now, anything that I do with my wrist will be translated into her wrist. So again, making that C with my hand, I'm going to do some strips down these extensors. I'll do a few different strips. Make sure to come all the way to these medial and lateral epicondyles here. And then we're going to bring the arm up, and now we can work with the biceps. I'll just do some nice compression here. If you'd like to do a pin and stretch here as well, you can allow this arm to fall outward as you do some petrissage. You can, of course, use Open fist here, you can use palm. Anytime you're near the deltoid, make sure to give it a squeeze or 10. Work into upper pec. So again, this is a moving pin and stretch. I'm stripping outward with the palm of my hand while I'm externally rotating this entire shoulder region. I'm externally rotating that humerus. So next I'm going to bring the arm into flexion so I can work with the triceps. I do that by bringing my outside hand to her inner elbow. I step around and allow the arm to come with me. Once again, from another angle, I'm going to grab her elbow with my outer hand. In this case, this is her right arm, this is my left hand, and I'm keeping her forearm to the outside of my forearm, and then I just step back. That brings her arm up into flexion. From here I can do some nice compressive effleurage of the triceps. Another good way to work on the triceps is while the client is prone with their arm hanging off the table. Then I'm going to switch hands and reach under the deltoid. This is a good way of working with the deltoid when it is very slack. With the arm up above the head like this, the deltoid is very relaxed, it's very loose. This is one of those feel-good moves that people didn't know that they wanted. And then I bring the arm down. And I finish up with a nice bit of traction. And the arm goes back under, again keeping the drape close to this arm so that there's no draft. Tuck the hand under, resettle the drape, and we're done. Let me know if you have any questions, thoughts, comments, and consider subscribing. I'll see you next time.